feeling I'm cunt as hell. Battle anybody, I don't care if you tell. I excel, they all fail. Kick a cat, I'll rock some. Battle anybody.
No, I actually didn't create it. It was the creative brainchild of Pony Garcon, who was formerly in Blahnik. What I did is I helped refine the concepts a little bit, and I actually conducted the first Vogue Evolution audition. It was a two-part audition. One side was Vogue, and the other side was hip-hop and street funk dance. And I conducted that portion of the auditions and helped select the first round of people that were inducted into the Vogue Evolution concept group. It's actually hard to measure their impact in the industry, and I don't think I could do it fairly. But I would say that in the ballroom community, I think they've had a tremendous impact. I think they've inspired lots of young folks to take their talents outside of our community and strive to blend into mainstream and have a bigger impact across the board. And I think that they've been revolutionary in doing that, along with a few other folks, but I think that they've led the pack in terms of national TV exposure. It was actually very exciting to work with them on Be the Generation. It was weird because we hadn't worked together so long, so we've grown much differently over the years, and so it wasn't as cohesive as it once was, to say the least. But like all family, we worked it out, and I think the project was a huge success because of their contributions, and I think that we had a chance to do what we do best, perform and be a family, so it was great. It's hard to define or know when you've achieved any level of success. I mean, you do what you do because artistically you're called to it, or emotionally and spiritually you're called to do it, but I don't know about success. I continue to stay involved because I think spiritually there are people in the ball scene who would never ever connect to God, or who would never ever walk into a synagogue or a church. But I think that we as people have the opportunity to do God's work right here on earth. And so I think it's part of my calling to use my influence to move people and to help people and to save lives. And so I think that's why I stay connected to this work. I don't think that it's as bad as, first I need to say I don't know what you heard. That would be the qualifier to my answer. But I hear a lot of people say how much violence, how much drugs, identity theft that exists in the ball community. And I don't think that it's any different than any other community. I think because the size of our community and that the lens and the spotlight's on us because of our influence and all the work that we've done to move not only the LGBT community but the entertainment community forward, I think that people are looking at us through a microscope. Do I think there's too much violence? Absolutely. I think there's too much violence in the black community, any other minority group, but I don't think it's any impact beyond or disproportionately bigger than any other population. But I like to see an end to it, as I would in all other communities. And I would have done a lot more to ensure that a lot of my members were connected to some of the social justice and humanitarian work that's happening through the House of Blahnik. I mean, I think we lead the pack in terms of leadership and quality of leaders around the country, but I would have done more to probably nurture and cultivate younger leaders very early on. That's what the one thing I've probably done differently. I think the biggest success of my life is really creating the House of Blahnik. I think that it is definitely something that is sustainable. It is something that has had a huge impact, not only on its members, but on the community at large. I think the House of Blahnik has done a lot artistically. I mean, when you think about influence in the mainstream, you see the House of Blahnik plastered everywhere. And I think in certain cities, I mean, we've gotten 2 cities that the mayor has actually given us a proclamation. So this says a lot about the kinds of work that we've done. And obviously, I could not move on without talking about the scholarship. I mean, being able to send people from other houses to colleges and support the academic endeavors really means a lot to me and to the board that I've assembled in the House of Blahnik, and I think we stand behind that. We really stand behind education and self-empowerment, and that is probably the biggest contribution I think that I've made and our biggest success to date. I'm not sure. I really don't know where Blahnik will be in 5 years. I'm sure it'll be enjoying much more success than it has in the past and breaking more grounds and barriers. There's a whole crop of leadership. I mean, Stefan Wallace is the new board president, and Camaro Blahnik is the new overall father, and Temperance is the overall mother. And I think it will be a collaboration of all of their visions that will move Blahnik to the next phase and chapter of its life. That's a really easy answer. I think professionalism, talent, skill, the combination of all three. I'm definitely a person that has a lot of influence, and so I'm able to control crowds really well and mitigate challenges and disruptions. But I also have a lot of talent, and so I can keep the ball exciting and fresh and fun. And I'm probably one of the most professional people you ever meet. So I'm always on time, very prompt, and I stay until the job is done. And so you never have to worry about logistics and managing my time that way. I'm pretty good at that. So best of both worlds, all three worlds. There you go. Bad bitch. Stop, go ahead. Want to do it over? That's a good question. I'm not sure if there's a measure of success or popularity. And so what I would say, though, is that he came out or started to rise at a time when YouTube was the vehicle by which people heard new music and saw their favorite ballroom personalities. And I came before that period. And so in order to watch, Jay Blahnik classics, you have to watch a VHS tape. And with him, I mean, he's a part of the YouTube phenomenon. So if that's a measure of success, then he did that. But I think in terms of popularity, I wouldn't know how to measure that. But if he did, I would be very proud, because he's also my gay child. And as you said, he's someone that I put the mic in their hand for the very first time. And so the marker or measurement of a great teacher is how well their student does. And so I'll be really proud if he does that, if he has already mic. So the person that introduced me to the mic was Stuart. It was 1995. He was having a ball with Alvernian, and Alvernian was away in Paris. And Stuart needed a break, and he needed someone to call him out for star statements and lunch. Actually, the Grand March. And he asked me to do it. So I gave him I think it was a fabulous introduction. And then he came back to me and said, do the rest of the ball. And from that moment on, I haven't stopped working yet. So we're well over 10 years. So I think that him passing the mic was probably a good thing. I think it's been a mainstay in my career. In terms of the role of a commentator, I think that their roles are very simple. It's to keep the ball alive and entertaining. It's to control the crowd. It's to mitigate challenges and conflict. It's to ensure that the judges are fair and are paying attention to the ball and doing their job. And it's also really around kind of keeping the crowd prepped for what's to come next, kind of telling them what categories to prepare for. And it's about also acknowledging people's hard work. So when you think about someone's status, I mean, no one knows it better than the commentators. They're at every ball. They're working hard. They see what people are doing. They see who's performing optimally and who's doing subpar work. And so I think they have a critical role in helping to determine who the next set of legends, up-and-coming statements, stars, when we oftentimes forget about those other categories. But they have a very important role in helping to determine their crop of people, what those statuses are. They see it all. They do it all. So I think they're the primaries. So how I came over Rock the Bells, I was actually talking to some friends, and they were talking about the last CD I put out, and their favorite song on the CD was Push It. And it was an ode to the 80s, to Salt and Pepper. And so I was a big fan of the 80s. It's my actual favorite era of pop music to me. And LL was the ish, I-S-H, not S-H-I-T. So that was one of my favorite songs. It was just like when it comes on, it's like really rough, like da da da. And so it just was in my ear, and I thought that if I did it over with the Jay Blahnik swag to it, that it would make people move. And so I gave it to him. I rock bells, I rock with LL, and we did it. So I vote for him, and I'm cunt as hell. Back with anybody, I don't care if you tell. I excel, they all bail. Kick it, cat, I rock stuff. All right, yeah, bitch. I want to get to that part. So that's the question. I gave you a different answer. All right, so here we go. How does music come to me? So usually it comes in a variety of ways. Watching something on television or anger really inspires a lot of my thoughts. I'll hear a melody in the song, and I'll speed the melody up to a pop song or a rock song or an R&B song, and it really becomes a chant. So if you listen to a lot of my songs, imagine them being slow songs sped up about 200 MPs faster. And that's usually how it comes to me. I'll hear like, and it becomes really the melody, and it becomes a driving force behind the chant. And then the lyrics, I mean, I hate to say this, but we don't have a lot of hard work as commentators in terms of lyrics. People want to hear the same things over and over, just in different melodies. So the hard part is coming with a hot arrangement. And so it's been fun. That's how it comes in. So is this I'm assuming this is not in ballroom, because if it's ballroom, I think I've been really, really blessed to get my way, and I got a chance to work with all the big names. So that's the blessing. But outside of ballroom, my dream would be, this is a self-explanatory answer, is Janet Jackson. I think she's the epitome of what for me would be success, to work for Janet. To be an ambassador or a spokesperson for Microsoft would have been great when Bill Gates was there, but I still love it. I would absolutely love to work with, this is going to sound really crazy, but I would like to work with Lil' Kim. I don't know why. I think she just, I don't give a F-U-C-K attitude, and that's a side of me that people don't rarely see, and I think she would bring it out in full force. I mean, you're going to hear a lot of it on my new CD, but she will bring it out in full force. So Janet, number one, maybe an ambassador for some major company, and Lil' Kim, I think. You really love these two-part questions, so I'm going to see if cognitively I can stay up with you. So what it felt like to win the number of awards, it was a blessing, honestly. It's one of those moments in your life where you never expect it. You never think that what you've done or what you do really matters to people, and it just feels really good to get acknowledged. So that was what it was like. I mean, in so many different cities. I guess traveling to it was also part of what made it special too. To be in so many different parts of the country, and each person seeing a different aspect of you and appreciating it, that meant a lot. And so the next part of your question was, what does it mean to me?
How did you get there?
How did I get to it? So how I got to win them? So I think that some of the awards that I won were about some of the HIV prevention and public health work that I've done, and I think particularly around the gay and lesbian community. And then the other awards was about the work that I've done in the house ball community. And so I think maybe I've just stood out this year. Maybe I've been overlooked. Maybe I've been what's that star, Susan Lucci, who never got an Academy Award or Oscar, and by the time she was like 80 years old, they finally said, here's your Academy, here's your Oscar. You deserve it at 120. So before I get to 100 or even 80, I think people just, let me just give this child something so he can just smile and be happy. He's done a little bit of stuff in a little bit of places up here. Take that and come about your business. But it was definitely fuel to keep me going, so I'll do a lot more now.
So you are a national ballroom commentator and leader. You are the director of a national research-based organization. You are the executive director of the House of Blahnik. You are the founding president of a consulting firm and a recording artist and choreographer. When do you find time to sleep?
When I'm 120. I think that we have a little bit of time when it's planning. I think that we should maximize that. I heard a great quote, and I'm going to say it till probably from now until I die. It said that the greatest gift given to us from our Creator, which is God, is potential. And our gift back to God is how we use that potential. And so I don't ever want to not give God the credit that He deserves and the kinds of gifts that He deserves. I want to use my potential to the fullest. So I push every envelope I can. And I don't want to leave this world with regrets or woulda, coulda, shoulda. I think that I have the time and the energy, and I have a great group of people around me. So why not take advantage of all of it now? I don't need to sleep. Great. Peace and. See, it says rest in peace for a reason. I'm not at the resting in peace phase yet. I'm still alive and vibrant. Looking good. Right? Sorry, go ahead. You have to cut up and read on that. This being serious stuff is for the birds. Jay is a clown. If you didn't know, I'm a big clown. All I do is crack jokes. Well, I have a filthy mouth sometimes, and I read. And I get with Stefan and talk about people at work.
What's next for Jay Blahnik?
Videos are next. And Vegas shows are next. I really wanted to do a show on Vegas, or in Vegas, I should say, or in Atlantic City at a major resort or hotel. And I want the show to go for at least 2 years. And I want it to be one of the biggest stage extravaganzas ever created. I mean, from people flying across the set, and huge lights and flashing lights and smoke and people coming out the floor. I just want the biggest stage show ever. I want it to be theatrical. I want Broadway to really meet sci-fi. I don't think it's ever been done the way that I want to do it. So I want to take my shot at it, and I think I can pull it off. I want an all-star cast of choreographers working with me. Yeah, and I want to do it ballroom style. That's what's next.
Joy.
Oh! Alright, here goes. What brings me joy when I'm all alone? Touching myself. Touching myself in very intimate places. Becoming one with I can't even do that with a straight face. No, reading books. Honestly, I'm kind of a nerd. I think people know that about me. So, I read a lot. I read a lot of self-help books. I mean, I guess I'm kind of a boring guy because when I am by myself, I do spend that time doing that. But my mind works all the time. So if I'm alone for more than 2 hours without any, I would say more than 20 minutes to be honest, without anything to do, I usually come up with a list of new projects. And anybody's been around me more than 5 minutes knows that. I'll come up with 20 new things I want to do, and I want to do it all tomorrow. And I'm already starting to assemble a team. And so when I'm alone by myself, I'm already creating the next chapter of my life. That's what happens. I think you should ask my close friends that. I'm a clown. I think they would say I'm silly most of the time. Passionate. When I'm with them, I'm usually pushing them in some area to do something. Like, I don't know. I'm always encouraging my friends to do something. So we're always doing a hybrid of like work and being friends. So I think that's what I'm like, that big old clown. Oh, I love to shop too. So we like to go shopping. Me and my friends, we shop. One of my friends, we went car shopping one day. Now, I didn't buy the car. He went and bought a fly car, and now he has a Maxima, and I'm only driving an old Acura and a Honda Accord, but it doesn't matter. He's a bad bitch. He came through. I didn't come through yet, but catch it. A Maserati's coming in the next 5 years. So tell him, wherever he is, Stephon Wallace, I'm getting a Maserati. Bad bitch coming through. Oh, the bitches want to surpass you. They want to, feel one.
I'll take a BMW 6.
Okay.
I heard that you are really shy. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm very shy. Yeah. I'm super shy. Actually, I am. But if I'm angry, I'm not. That's a crazy answer, but it's the truth. If I'm very, very angry, I have no conscience, no filter, nothing. It all goes out the window. When I'm pissed, I'm pissed. But if I'm not, then I'm somebody that probably wouldn't say much. And I hate talking in front of crowds. I hate performing in front of crowds. Until I get up there, then I love it more than life itself. But yeah, very shy. I don't like to be watched.
Do you
mean like going to a safari and laying down next to a tiger and pretending that I'm one too? That kind of wild side? Or you mean like wild side, like do something like go skydiving and jumping off a bridge one day? Either one, the answer is absolutely not. I do either one. The wildest I will get is living vicariously through someone else. Yeah. But I am from the projects. So let me just tell you about that. So from the projects, we roll up our sleeves and we go, man, so we can definitely box. So that's the wildest to get. That is wild. Yeah, let's do it.
Vicariously through someone else?
Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah.
Can you explain that? So,
meaning that I would love to listen to someone else's stories about the wild things that they do and that I don't have the courage to do, or it may be in conflict with my moral and ethical beliefs. And so some of the things that I think are sexy or things that I think are hot or I would not wear when I go, but doesn't mean that I don't want to know all about it. I'm newsy. I ask my friends details about their lives, who they lay with, who they screw, who screws them, what kind of clothes they wear, whether they wear panties or thongs, whether they wear little things with their butt. I mean, I want to know it all. Now, would I do that stuff? Absolutely not. I'm a good boy. My mom was watching this. She knows herself. A good boy. He is. Driven. Boundless. creative. Then what would you say those 3 words would be? Bossy, goofy, and what? What would you say? You could tell me short 3 words about Michael Bay. You know me best. You're one of my best friends in the whole world. What would you say, Mr. Wallace?
Who are you talking to?
Oh, well, bitch, you can tell me the 3 words. I want to hear what you have to say.
This is not going to be on the video.
Cool. Excuse me. That was mind your business, and back to you. And back to you, Alex. Let's go.
This is not about me. This is about you.
Uh-oh.
Project.
No, I didn't do much for you. But I could. Let's go. So the Legends Care Project was something that I came up with to really address violence in the ballroom community. And for so long, we have depended on government resources to really fund anything that we wanted to do to help ourselves. And I just got tired of really waiting and being complacent and saying, what grant can we get to pay for what it is that we need? So I took a year, and every ball that I commentated, I put 100% of those proceeds into a pot of money so that we can do a social marketing campaign to address violence in our community. And I just haven't had the time with all the other projects to really actually develop the campaign, but we do have the resources for it. I'm really excited. So I think I'm going to hire a project manager or maybe one of my friends I can get to do this. I have this really great friend. His name is Stefan, and he works with me at the Legacy Project too. And I think he'll be really good at kind of convening people. Actually, to be honest, there's another group that's through the Legacy Project, a national ballroom coalition, and that Stefan actually leads. And so maybe part of their projects can be a funded initiative from Legends Care around anti-violence. So I'll task Stefan with that. I'm good at doing that. Bad bitch. Okay. So a day in life working at the Legacy Project, I'll say working as the director of the Legacy Project could be rewarding. I mean, I get a chance to travel all around the country and do some really amazing research, capacity building and technical assistance, and just engagement activities with a lot of organizations and groups, and both a national and local scale. The office environment is actually a great place to work. I mean, we're housed at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center, which is the only research center in the world with 3 Nobel Peace Prizes. So I'm around some of the greatest scientists of all time. One being our president, Larry Corey. So I think in terms of being exposed to the best in research and science, I have that gift, and so I'm really happy. The Legacy Project itself, I think it's a struggle. I mean, with any organization or program that works with minority communities, it's always a struggle. I mean, we're always we never have the capacity to do the kinds of work that really needs to be done to really move our community forward, increase the scientific literacy. And so those are the struggles. And really getting the administration on board with stuff like that is always a challenge. I mean, because they're not of our group. They're not, LGBT, or they may not be women or African American or Latino or Native American. So it's really hard to get them to understand our experiences and why it needs to be resourced much more than it obviously is. So those are the struggles. And so it's a balance. Some days it's great, and other days it's put your head down and cry. So the day it's great. I'm smiling.
It's always me. Wait a minute. Take it back. Pick it up. Now play the track. Wait a minute. Take it back. Pick it up. Wait a minute. Now play the track. Use a sense, bitch. I wins, bitch. Grand Trophy, I leaves with it.